You have found the land of Eos. Here, love, friendship, and peace rule supreme. However, the world is ever expanding, and along with it, denizens of both friend and foe. Things are not always as they seem here. Finding their own strengths and courage within one another is the only way the Guardians can survive. Take a listen, friend. Here are the Center Chronicles.
The mood amongst the Guardians changed. The light travel atmosphere was interrupted at Sam's nervousness. Logic moves beside Sam very slightly, positioning himself between her and the approaching creature.
Hi, Hale.
Well, I'll be why if it ain't Sam. It's been a long while, old friend.
Yes.
Well, you see, the last experiment didn't give any results, but...
Hi, friend. I'm Logic. I don't believe we've met.
Of course, where are my manners? The name's Hale, old colleagues of Sam's.
I wouldn't call it that.
What brings you out here? You're pretty far from home. There's a lot of dangers out here in the waste, Sam.
We are aware. Is there a problem?
Of course not. Was naturally curious. Last I checked, Sam didn't venture far from home very much.
Sam takes in the small chinchilla before her. He was very close to how she remembered him. Hale had extremely soft fur, but the coloration was odd. He was light brown on the front half, but his fur blended into a deep dark brown with a rust-colored diamond on his back.
I'm kept quite busy at home, thank you.
Well, I'm awful glad to hear it, Sam. What's your lab like these days? Any experiments?
Plenty. None that would interest you, though, as my interests lie in helping people.
My experiments help others. I'm just, the first to test them on, that's all.
At what cost?
I mean, a few sleepless nights. Really, besides, can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs, am I right?
Sam snorts in undisguised disgust.
I'm a healer just like you, Sam. We just took different routes.
You are a great many things. A healer? That's reaching.
Well, I did help a bird the other day, in fact. Poor thing was miserable.
I bet. This isn't my business. We are fine, Hale.
I'm tickled to hear that, Sam. It was very lovely to meet you all. Give a whistle if you get into any trouble. All hell will hear.
Well, thank you. We'll keep it in mind.
The group stands, Sam completely still until he is well out of earshot. They continue to move in silence a good 5 minutes back towards their destination.
Sam, we gonna talk about it?
I'd hoped he'd moved on.
Something I need to know, Sam?
He's a siren.
I thought sirens were, water creatures.
Which makes him all the more dangerous. Think about how much sound waves can affect the body.
Ooh, my kind of guy. Just like electrical impulses. Twinning.
You don't want that, Portal. Trust me.
What does it have to do with you exactly?
It doesn't matter. Long as we stay out of his way, we'll be fine.
We'll discuss later.
Sam nods noncommittally and begins to help set up camp with the others. As they sit by the fire, Logic produces a small speaker from his pack. He turns it on, and music begins to play. Logic sings along so that Sam can hear as she begins to dance. Arya takes to the sky and starts creating intricate patterns and fire bursts. As the evening turns to nightfall, the pairs begin to head into their tents for the night, the strange creature from earlier all but forgotten in the fun of the fire. In the morning, the late sleepers are jarred awake by the sounds of struggle.
We can't get out!
What the hell? Is this a spider web?
Hang on, Portal, don't. We have to keep our heads a little. That's it. Eyes on me.
It absorbed lightning.
My fire, too.
Energy is no good. Unrelated, I may be stuck.
Does anyone feel that?
Sam hunkers down, pressing her sensitive skin to the ground.
Movements. Worms of some kind?
Definitely worms. Look up.
Just as Ace speaks, a thick rope of green viscous liquid drips onto the floor of Sam and Logic's tent with a heavy, wet thud.
Come on, one component at a time. I almost have a solvent ready to melt the web.
What the hell?
They're wrapped in the webbing?
I need more time.
Sam squeezes her eyes shut.
We just don't have it.
Sam whistles, and before she even stops, a low whistle fills the air. The worms armored in the strange web seem to retreat, pulling themselves up from the holes torn in the tent with more webbing. Logic grabs a vial full of sickly yellow liquid and sprays it on the webbing of his and Sam's tent, freeing them and everyone else in turn.
What's that?
Well, I examined the webbing using your medical scanner, and I found a biological component in the web. This is an organic solvent I was able to create. Don't know if it would have affected those worms themselves, and they were coming fast. I made the right call, Doc.
We'll see.
What?
Goodness, Miss Sam. You were lucky I was here. The acid in those worms?
I've seen my fair share of rodents run, Mr. Hale. They aren't that fast. You must have been close.
Were you following us?
Of course not. My burrow is just their little small quarry. I'm surprised you didn't see me there.
You live on the borders of the wastes?
Yes, ma'am.
Lucky for us, I guess.
Oh, do be careful, won't you?
Sam nods and watches the chinchilla head out on his way.
Why do I feel like we've been talking to a used car salesman?
Kinda have. We should start our searches before the day gets hot. We'll call it early today, so we have time to mend our tents before nightfall.
Ace and Arya take to the sky, agreeing to work in different directions and meet in the middle, while the others keep a closer look to the ground. The day proves fruitless, and as the sun begins to set, the group gathers their things and moves camp away from Hale's burrow and the apparent hunting grounds they'd discovered the evening before. As they gather around the fire, the mood is a bit more somber than the previous night.
Maybe it's prudent we take watch shifts.
Portal and I can take first.
I can take second.
I'll join you.
I'll take the third shift.
By yourself?
Come on, don't you start.
Ari, it's merely a matter of safety in numbers.
If I get tired, I'll come tap someone in, okay?
Fine.
Over the first shift, Sam, Logic, and Arya sleep peacefully. The only sound the occasional crack and sizzle of electricity. Logic rises half an hour before his shift and makes tea for him and Sam.
Anything to report, Ace?
Just more local wildlife. Saw a couple of really big scorpions. When Portal shot off some bolts, they ran away. Couple of big lizards.
When you say big, you mean...
Horse-sized monitors.
Okay. Cool.
Apparently it's all bigger where no one stays.
That's the thing. This is the border. They're supposed to be in the wastes proper. This was why we can't stay in the wastes at night. At this point, why not stay in there?
If this is the stuff that's willing to risk venturing out, I'm not sure I want to meet what's staying in.
Fair. Come on, Portal. Sleepy time.
Sam and Logic take the place of Ace and Portal, sharing a blanket to sit on as they keep watch.
Sam, we really need to talk about that Hale guy. Why do you not like him? You are willing to work with anyone. You still spoke to Khan after he tried to make you forget. It concerns me, babe.
Other than being an unethical, sorry excuse for a creature?
Sam.
Cuts corners in the medical field, just as a tip of the iceberg.
A professional rival of sorts?
He's not professional anything. He's a sorry Holy crap, look!
Out in the wastes, the red desert floor is suddenly black as tarantulas peek over a dune in a massive wave, approaching camp at breakneck speeds.
Well, that's unusual.
They're scared.
How can you tell?
These aren't moths, Logic. Ever see a spider run towards a flame? We didn't put out our campfire.
The ground shook violently, waking everyone, and mere feet before them 2 pincers the size of football fields break ground, opening and swallowing thousands of the spiders before disappearing back into the earth.
What the heck was that?
I'm not sure.
It was big, not angry, just hungry. Ugh, how boring. I'm going back to bed.
Sam, I don't think we were properly prepared for this.
Well, excuse me for not having a cheat sheet of your neighborhood's friendly wastes.
Easy. No one knew they came up directly to the edge of the wastes.
What do you suggest?
I would suggest he's not here.
We haven't looked very far.
Sam, you're right. We have not. But the evidence of the life we have seen just from the outside indicates a creature not specifically adapted to live here just simply won't.
Well, now, 2 nights in a row? I should buy a lottery ticket. Hello, everybody.
What's a lottery?
It's a human idiom, Ari. He thinks he's in luck.
You live by here. Have you seen any mice?
Mice? Like my size?
He's smaller. And mouseier? Is that a word?
Well, aren't you precious? Yes, it's a word, but unfortunately I have not seen a mouse. Mouseier than I.
It is the middle of the night, and we aren't by your burrow anymore, Hale. What are you doing here?
Hale points his paw off to the brush beside the camp.
Chinchillas are nocturnal, Sam. You know that. But moreover, I'm hungry. And that brush right there has my favorite kind of grass. I was hoping to sneak by without disturbing anyone, but it appears the wastes are active tonight, and everybody was up anyway. Why on earth would you go out here to find a mouse?
It doesn't matter.
I see. Well, no. No mice here. If you do insist on staying around these parts, I do not suggest staying so close to the border. Makes the critters curious. But I'd be happy to help you look in case one got by me.
Thanks, Hale. We appreciate the offer, but I think we've concluded that he's not likely here.
Of course. Just give old Hale a little holler if you change your mind. Although now that I think about it, I did see something a few weeks ago, right before the Great Hibernation.
The Great Hibernation? What's that?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. All was normal, then suddenly, everything in the waste felt pulled to go into their various homes, holes, and burrows to fall asleep for a while.
That makes a lot of sense. I did wonder what happened to all the wildlife when it clips.
Sam gives Logic a meaningful look, and Logic shifts around uncomfortably.
What did you see?
It wasn't a mouse, and I don't have the best sight, but it was a creature I hadn't seen before.
In what direction?
I'll be happy to show you, but the wastes are too active tonight. I'll sure be tired, but I'll be here at the crack of dawn. It'll take us most of the day to get there, but maybe your birds would be kind enough to fly us home after we examine the area.
Any reason we can't fly out?
Well, as I said, my eyesight isn't the greatest. I wouldn't be able to spot it from above.
Okay, Hale. We appreciate the help.
It's just so rare that I get to see you with an old friend. I'm just so tickled pink to help.
I'm sure. Let's move camp a bit. Hopefully the rest of the night passes quietly.
The group packs up relatively quickly, if haphazardly, and moves further away from the border to the wastes. They sleep soundly for the next few hours. They had just finished cleaning up breakfast and packing up properly when Hale appears.
Good morning, folks. Quick notes that'll save you a lot of stress. Number 1, be mindful of your step. Most life out here is subterranean, meaning it lives underground. So it'll most likely be aware of you long before you will be of it. Number 2, it's hot. Make sure you are hydrated. We have a long hike and we won't do anybody any favors if you pass out because you're not drinking. Basic survival stuff, folks. I hope you don't have food rations that need to be cooked because we aren't doing fires here in the wastes. But I think that about covers the basics. Is everyone ready?
After a general murmur of agreement, they set off, making their way over the dunes.
There's more plant life out here than I imagined.
There's far more bugs, too.
Deserts have ecosystems.
Yeah, I know. It just looks so barren.
We know better than to judge a book by its cover.
A feather? This doesn't belong to anyone, right? Guys.
The group stops as Portal plucks a long, pure white feather off a nearby branch poking from a low shrub like a blackened bone.
Nope, that's a flight feather. Mine are brown.
Oh, mine are red and blue.
There is local bird life, though, come to think of it, they aren't whites.
Look, if we have flying mice with feathers that big...
Did he learn to bird?
We are all a little out of our zone here. Let's keep it for now and keep going. Hale, how far out are we?
Well, if it has feathers, should we even bother looking for footprints?
Well, there's been a ton of windstorms. I wouldn't count on footprints. We're about 2 more large dunes out from where I saw it. There's a little oasis of sorts. It doesn't rain often, but when it does, the runoff gathers there. At least that's what doesn't evaporate right away. We don't get light storms. We get huge gully washers.
You get what?
Gully washers? You know, torrential rain.
I like that.
The group continues over the dunes, and as they reach the top of the second dune, they see a small copse of trees and a wide variety of animals, seemingly peaceful, either cooling themselves or drinking the water.
During the day, this place is pretty peaceful. At night, let's just say, we don't want to be here that long.
Is that a wolf?
A wolf?
It's got wings?
A pure white creature who had its head down drinking the water lifts his head, its ears swiveling to the sound. As they continue to approach, the creature vanishes on the spot. The Center Chronicles is a Land of Eos production, written by Elle Bee, with music and audio engineering by Jacob Howard and sound effects by Archangel Studios, featuring the cast in order of appearance, with Shinkibi as the introducer, Gavin Cash as the narrator, Gillian as Samina, Chris Naaza Reid as Hale, Jacob Howard as Logic, Madison Cole as Ace, Oliver Kahn as Portal, and TheMerryMeg as Arya. The Center Chronicles is a free weekly podcast that you can enjoy on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. The next episode airs Monday, August 14th. Thank you for listening, and if you enjoyed the show, please like, comment, and subscribe. Give us a rating and let us know who your favorite character is. Until next time, friends.